Oh, another thing is that they are forcing me to interact with the people in this country that are selling me out, mainly the black men, because they had black men involved in the ritual when they threatened to rape and molest my son. They had people who are Masons, Freemasons, that are black men, threatening to rape my son with Cynthia and saying that this was white people's country, and that since I shot Austin in the leg and being that my son was vulnerable to them while I was in the jail, that they would be able to molest him and rape him and make him give them oral sex and pass him around to several different men and women of several different ethnicities who worked at several different who worked for several different companies, and held several different job positions in the United States, to molest my son as a part of a racist ritual to Satan, because I shot Austin in the leg, and Cynthia was angry and racist, and Joseph was angry and racist, and Austin was angry and racist, and the black men who they went and got to help them do this ritual were angry and racist. So this is what is going on. And at that time, they had my family involved to help them go through with the murder and not say anything about what these people did to me in the jail, or that they took my son, or what it was even about, that this man got out of prison attacking me in my home. And that's what they don't want people to know, what everything is even all about, and that they're just racist. Because he got hurt, they turned around and took my child and impulsively threatened to molest and rape my child as retaliation. And they're trying to use a tactic to have all of the black people abandon me and all of my friends and family abandon me as a tactic to discredit me about everything, to also use fear to make black people afraid and make my family afraid to come forward with the information that they have threatened, that they have done this. They have threatened to molest my son as retaliation, and then they have my boy over there, and they had people doing stuff to me since I left the jail, trying to get into a shelter here in Houston, in Atlanta, and in Arkansas. And all my family knows about the plans and schemes that these people have been doing, and what their agenda is for me as a mother. They're still trying to not paint me out as the victim. They're trying to do anything they can, which is past the actual altercation and what actually took place. And they have been trying to mold my life and shape my life to look the way that they wanted to look since the shooting, to do whatever they wanted to do to my body since the shooting, which is why I was not allowed into any of the shelters. I didn't have a criminal record. I was the mother with the case of having been abused and having a child that was abused. Actually, having went through the system, fought and won the cases for my child and about the criminal charges. Why would I not be the perfect candidate to get help from the cities and states in my surrounding areas to allow me to come into the shelter? They had reviewed my case for 11 months trying to murder a baby in me, which is the main reason why they did not want to allow me into the shelters, because they made the mistake of actually trying to murder me inside of the jail while I was awaiting a trial, and they should not have done this. And I was pregnant, and it did not kill me, and it did not kill the baby, but it did stop my labor. It did cause me to lose a significant amount of weight inside of the jail cell. It did mess up my pregnancy to a great degree. And so when I was released after 11 months, I had already went into labor and was being harmed through the labor process and was not able to give birth, because this is what these white people here in Texas did to me in the cell. And my family knew what they were doing to me in the cell, and they knew that I was pregnant. So for me to be out of the cell with the evidence in my body of the fetus still alive and kicking and all that in my body, while they're trying to lie and say I'm not pregnant, now it's starting to come together to me why the doctors were lying when I got out of the jail and asked for medical care knowing that the baby was still alive. Now I can see why, because they did that racist stuff to my body in that jail, and they didn't want to confirm that they had done this. And they denied me medical care and then in the hospitals, and were saying that I was not pregnant, continuing to allow me to run around with the baby in me. And the reason why I say running around, because they wouldn't let me in the shelters, and they were trying to have me go into locations with people trying to harm me. Every single location where someone was claiming that they could allow me to stay. I mean, you could see the plot in that, with people planning to have you left outside. And then when they see, okay, she's going to the shelter and she's trying to get in the shelter, and we can only do so much to her while she's there, and we can only paint the story out a certain way if she's there, and then have the people in the shelter say, okay, let's put her out of the shelter, and then it'll make it look this way, and we can have her vulnerable to this person and that person and that person who's trying to harm her. And this is what they did. And so they had these men coming up to me and trying to befriend me or make it seem like they could help me and bring me somewhere. And these were all men who were trying to harm me and my pregnancy, who were trying to change the story from what it was, that she was a mother at home taking care of her son, and this man got out of prison attacking her and her son, and he got her pregnant, and then they tried to kill the baby in the jail, and she's out, and she's in the shelter, and she's trying to get some help, and she's trying to get her son, and they put me out of the shelter so these men could try to set me up and be like, oh, she's a hoe in the house with this man that we got setting her up over there, and she's not pregnant. He's over there trying to kill it. He's over there trying to starve her. He's over there trying to get her to smoke cigarettes. He's over there trying to get her to smoke weed. He's over there making her have sex, and he's doing it very hard, and he's trying to kill the baby while she's pregnant. Yes, this is what these people were doing. And then when I told that they threatened to rape my baby out here and that I was pregnant and what they did to my pregnancy in the jail, when I told all the information, then all of a sudden they were having these men running from me and making me go to a new man where he'd hurry up and make me leave. And then when I told them that I was pregnant and they were trying to get away with abusing me, after I had already explained to them what these people did to me, and they already knew, but they were trying to trick me into staying around them by trying to act like they did not know who I was, and they was trying to act like they did not know that I had been released from this jail pregnant in that condition, and they was trying to act like they didn't know that I had already been to these hospitals trying to get medical care, and they tried to act like they didn't know anything about the shooting or trying to set me up to be murdered and set my child up to be molested. Everybody that brought me into these locations was trying to deceive me and make me believe that they did not know who I was and that they was helping me, and the entire country knows who I am and that nobody is helping me and what's going on. And they keep trying to send people up to me that don't know. They're trying to act like they don't know what's going on. And so this man, they're bringing me to these locations, and he brought me to an apartment and was trying to do stuff to me. And when I told on him and the people that had me in that environment and what they were trying to set up, they had already set it up for him to put me out and then make me go somewhere else to another guy in a different location. And then they would set me up from that location as well. And this is all they have been doing the entire time. And then they set me up on the streets. I was telling the motels, I was telling everything that was going on, and they had set me up on the streets and had them doing this stuff to me on the streets. And this is what they're continuing to try to do. And they're trying to have everybody act like they cannot help me, or that they're not in a position to help me stay in Texas and get my son from these people and be in Texas.